Welcome back to the world of coins, history, and hidden treasures. Today I will take you on a journey deep into the story of one particular coin that at first seems ordinary, just a simple piece of pocket change. But behind its small silver-colored surface lies a tale of rarity, mystery, and incredible value. Yes, I am talking about the United States of America Washington $quarter from the year 1983 with the Philadelphia Mint mark. At first glance, this coin doesn't shout wealth. It doesn't sparkle with gold or carry an image of a rare animal. It is simply a quarter, the kind of coin people toss into a parking meter or a vending machine without thinking twice. But when we start peeling back the layers of history, production, and collector demand, this coin transforms from ordinary change into something truly extraordinary. Let us first go back to the roots of the Washington quarter. It was introduced in 1932 to honor George Washington, the first President of the United States. Since then, it has remained a symbol of American tradition and history. Collectors love it not only because of its patriotic design but also because each year and mint tells a different story. Fast forward to the 1980s. The American economy was shifting, technology was advancing, and coins were still a part of everyday life. People used them for arcade games, laundromats, buses, and countless daily transactions. The year 1983 may not sound special in history books, but for coin collectors, it became unforgettable. Here's why. Normally, when collectors wanted beautiful uncirculated coins, they could turn to special mint sets or proof sets sold directly by the U.S. Mint. These sets contained coins carefully packaged to stay shiny and untouched. But in 1982 and 1983, something unusual happened. The Mint did not produce any official uncirculated sets. This left collectors with a serious problem. The only way to get a crisp, fresh example of a quarter from those years was to grab one directly from circulation. Think about that. Millions of quarters were released into everyday commerce, rattling in cash registers, clinking in pockets, scratched by keys, and worn down by years of handling. Very few survived in untouched condition. And that is what makes the 1983 Philadelphia quarter so rare today. Let us focus on the Philadelphia Mint itself. Coins from Philadelphia often show weaker strikes compared to those from Denver or San Francisco during that period. The eagle feathers on the reverse are sometimes flat, the lettering lacks sharpness, and George Washington's hair details can look faded. But once in a blue moon, a Philadelphia quarter from 1983 appears with astonishing sharpness, bold details, and brilliant luster. When such a piece shows up, collectors know they are looking at a treasure. Imagine the scene at an auction house. A crowd of experienced collectors and dealers sit silently as the rare coin is brought to the stage. The room brightens as the spotlight reflects off its brilliant surfaces. The auctioneer begins with a modest opening, but quickly the bidding jumps higher and higher. Hands rise, phones ring, and excitement fills the air. Everyone in the room knows they are not just bidding on a coin, but on a piece of history that almost slipped through the cracks of time. Now, let us picture an ordinary person. Someone cleaning out an old drawer, or sorting through a jar of coins inherited from a relative. They pick up a Washington quarter from 1983, and instead of tossing it aside, they look closer. They notice the P Mint mark above the date. They see the sharp details. They polish their glasses and hold it under the light. Could it be? Could this simple coin, once worth 25 cents, actually be worth a fortune? That possibility is what keeps the thrill of collecting alive. Collectors call this the treasure hunt of numismatics. You don't always need to chase after gold coins or ancient relics. Sometimes the rarest finds are hiding in plain sight, in the change you use to buy a coffee. The 1983 Philadelphia quarter is the perfect example of that. Another reason collectors love this coin is because of its story of survival. Out of the countless coins minted, only a handful remain in perfect condition. They are survivors of time, untouched by the chaos of circulation, frozen in history exactly as they left the mint. These survivors are the jewels of coin collections. Over the years, the demand for these quarters has skyrocketed. Every time one appears at a major auction, it makes headlines among collectors. Dealers talk about it, enthusiasts discuss it in online forums, and new collectors dream of finding one themselves. The legend grows stronger with every passing year. Now, I know what you are thinking. How much could such a coin actually be worth? Can a quarter really change someone's life? Well, the answer is yes. And here is the climax of our story. One of these 1983 Philadelphia Washington quarters, in nearly perfect condition, has been sold for the breathtaking amount of $57,000. Imagine this for a moment. You reach into your pocket, pull out some change, and among the coins you notice an ordinary Washington quarter. It looks like any other coin you've seen thousands of times before. You toss it onto the table without thinking twice. But what if I told you that one specific quarter from 1988, carrying a small D mint mark, could be worth not just a few cents, not just a few dollars, but tens of thousands of dollars? That's right, hidden treasures exist in the most unexpected places, and today we're going to uncover the incredible story of the 1988 D Washington quarter. To fully understand why this coin is special, we need to take a trip back in time. The Washington Quarter series first appeared in 1932, created to honor the 200th anniversary of the birth of George Washington, the first President of the United States. The original design by John Flanagan features Washington's profile on the obverse, with the American eagle spread proudly on the reverse. For decades, this coin circulated widely, becoming a staple in American pockets, purses, and piggy banks. By the 1980s, nearly every American had handled countless Washington quarters without even noticing the details that collectors prize today. The year 1988 was no different. Millions of quarters poured out of the United States Mint facilities. The Denver Mint, marked by the letter D stamped just beside the year, struck hundreds of millions of them. On the surface, the 1988 D quarter might not look like anything rare. But hidden among the masses are coins that stand apart, coins so pristine, so perfectly preserved, or carrying such unusual minting characteristics, that their value skyrockets far beyond what anyone would expect. Now, let's talk about why collectors chase this coin so eagerly. The first factor is condition. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 representing absolute perfection under magnification. Most coins you find in circulation are heavily worn, showing scratches, fading details, and dull finishes. These are worth face value. But a 1988 D quarter in mint state condition, especially those graded above MS65, shows crisp details, full luster, and no signs of wear. These are the coins collectors dream about, and they command serious premiums in the marketplace. The second factor is rarity within the grade. While millions were made, only a handful have survived in such impeccable state. Imagine the odds: a coin struck in 1988, handled by mint workers, bagged, shipped, and distributed, somehow escapes the wear and tear of circulation and remains untouched for decades. These survivors are the ones that bring high bids at auctions. Then, there's the world of errors and varieties. During the minting process, mistakes sometimes occur, creating coins that are unlike the rest. Double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and die cracks are all examples of errors that collectors pay dearly for. A 1988 D quarter with a dramatic error can transform from a 25-cent coin into a $1,000 collectible in the blink of an eye. Collectors also look for eye appeal. Even within the same grade, some coins shine brighter. The brilliance of the luster, the sharpness of Washington's profile, the clarity of the eagle on the reverse, all these small details contribute to how desirable a coin becomes. Auction records show that when the perfect storm of rarity, condition, and demand collide, the value of a coin can leap into staggering territory. Now, let's pause here and think. How many people have overlooked a coin like this? How many times has someone handed over change at a store without realizing they had a fortune resting in their palm? That's the magic of coin collecting. It's not just about metal, it's about history, chance, and discovery. Every coin carries a story, and sometimes that story is worth more than anyone ever imagined. The 1988 D quarter is one such story. While the majority remain ordinary, a select few have risen to the ranks of legendary status in the collector community. Auction houses across the country have seen heated battles over these coins, with bidders driving the price higher and higher as each one fights to secure ownership of a rare masterpiece, and now we arrive at the heart of today's journey. Among the most incredible discoveries is a pristine 1988 Washington $quarter, preserved in such immaculate condition that it stunned the numismatic world. Collectors and experts alike marveled at its state, and when it finally appeared at auction, the hammer price left jaws dropping. That single quarter, once worth just 25 cents, achieved a final sale price of $52,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. A $quarter minted in 1988 at the Denver Mint, a coin you could easily mistake for pocket change, reached the unbelievable value of $52,000. So the next time you find a quarter jingling in your pocket, take a closer look. You never know when history, rarity, and perfection might combine to turn an ordinary coin into a life-changing discovery. Have you ever stopped for just a moment and really looked at the coins in your pocket? Most of the time, we ignore them. We toss them in a drawer, drop them into jars, or spend them without a second thought. To many, coins are just tools of convenience, a way to pay for a snack or ride the bus. But sometimes, the smallest, most ordinary coin can hide a story of power, history, and unbelievable value, and today, I'm going to take you on a journey deep into the world of one such coin, the Washington $quarter from the year 1990, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, known by its tiny P mint mark. By the end of this story, you'll understand why a coin that millions of Americans once spent without hesitation could today be worth an eye-popping fortune. Let's begin with the legacy of the Washington quarter itself. Introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, it became one of the most iconic coins in American history. Sculptor John Flanagan designed the obverse with Washington's noble profile. Above his head rests the word Liberty, to the left the motto "In God We Trust," and at the bottom, the date of issue. Flip it over, and you are greeted by the proud eagle, wings stretched wide, perched on a bundle of arrows, surrounded by olive branches, a balance of strength and peace. For decades, this design represented stability in the American pocket. Generations of people used it to buy food, to pay bills, or to drop into jukeboxes and arcade machines. By 1990, the Washington quarter had been around for 58 years, and the Philadelphia Mint struck millions of them. They seemed ordinary. Nothing special. And yet, within that ocean of coins, a tiny handful carried a secret. The Philadelphia Mint, identified with the P mint mark, is known for producing massive quantities of circulating coins. But even with the most advanced technology, no minting process is perfect. Some coins are struck more sharply, with greater detail and stronger luster. Others escape into the world with small but noticeable errors, a doubled image, a clipped planchet, a misaligned die. And then, an even rarer category exists, coins so perfectly struck and so flawlessly preserved that they look almost like jewelry. These are the coins that never entered circulation, or if they did, they were somehow spared from the scratches and bruises of daily life. Now think about this for a moment. Out of the millions of quarters made in 1990, most were used, tossed, and forgotten. By now, 35 years later, most of them are dull, worn, and scratched. But if you find one that still gleams, one that has survived the decades in near-perfect condition, you might just be holding a fortune in your hands. Condition is everything in coin collecting. Collectors live and breathe by grades. A grading scale from 1 to 70 is used by professionals. A coin that barely survived circulation might grade at 10 or 20. A coin that still looks sharp could reach 40 or 50. But the true treasures are those in the 60s, mint state coins, untouched by circulation, crisp, brilliant, and radiant. At the very top are the near-perfect survivors, graded MS-68 or higher. These are not just coins. These are works of art in metal. Now picture this. You're sitting at an auction. The room is buzzing. Collectors are whispering, their eyes fixed on the screen. The auctioneer steps forward, his voice steady, commanding attention. The lot appears, a Washington quarter, dated 1990, with a P mint mark. At first, you might think, really? Just a 1990 quarter? But then you see the details. Under the bright lights, the coin sparkles. Every line in Washington's hair is crisp. Every feather on the eagle's wings looks alive. The coin looks as if it has been frozen in time. The bidding begins. $100. $200. The numbers rise quickly. $1,000. $5,000. $10,000. Each shout of a bid draws gasps from the audience. The collectors know what they are seeing. This is no ordinary coin. This is a survivor, a perfect relic of 1990, something so rare that it might never appear again. The tension grows. 15,000. 25,000. Hands are shaking, paddles rise, hearts race. Finally, the hammer falls. And in that moment, a coin that most people would ignore in their pocket has transformed into treasure. But why does this happen? Why would anyone pay such amounts for a coin so modern? The answer lies in the psychology of collecting. Humans are drawn to rarity. We are drawn to stories of survival, to objects that connect us to the past yet stand apart from the ordinary. The 1990 Washington quarter is not rare because of its age. It is rare because of its condition. It is rare because only a tiny handful exist in nearly flawless form. That scarcity creates competition, and competition drives value higher and higher, and let us not forget the history it carries. A coin minted in 1990 was part of a fascinating period in America. George H. W. Bush was president. The Cold War had ended. The Berlin Wall had fallen, signaling a new era of global change. Technology was advancing at lightning speed, with personal computers becoming more common in homes. That little coin, minted in Philadelphia, was part of that time. When you hold it, you are holding a fragment of that world, a physical link to a moment in history. Imagine for a second that you stumble upon one of these coins in the most unexpected way. Maybe you're cleaning out an old coin jar that has been sitting in your family home for decades. You pour the coins onto the table, sifting through pennies, nickels, and dimes. Suddenly, your eyes land on a quarter dated 1990. You turn it over, and there it is, the P mint mark. You hold it up to the light, and unlike the other coins, it gleams. Could it be? Could this be one of the rare survivors? Your heart races. You grab a magnifying glass, every detail sharp and clear, every line perfect. For a moment, time seems to stop. Because in your hand might be something far more than a quarter. In your hand might be a treasure. That is the thrill of numismatics. That is the magic of coin collecting. Ordinary people find extraordinary things. History hides in plain sight, waiting for someone with sharp eyes and a bit of curiosity to uncover it, and so we return to the question that has been hanging over this story since the beginning. How much could this unassuming coin, this 1990 Washington quarter, really be worth? Most examples, as we know, are only worth 25 cents. Some better preserved ones might bring a few dollars. But in the rarest, highest, most perfect condition, the value of this coin has stunned the collecting world. One such coin has sold at auction for the breathtaking price of $50,000. So the next time you see a quarter from 1990, don't ignore it. Look closely. Check the details. You might just have a piece of hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends who love coins, and of course, subscribe to the channel so you never miss another story about the rarest and most valuable coins in the world. And who knows? The next time you check your change, you just might strike gold.